All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Azul video. Um, Today, we're going to do something a little different. I'm going to play some games where I put a restriction on myself. Um, I think for this video, we'll do playing games where I cannot build a column. Um, and doing this for a couple reasons. One, it's a little more fun, a little less serious than my usual videos. Two, I haven't been playing very well lately. I had climbed back up towards 800 and then just tanked, and I'm sitting just above 700 right now. So it's a good time to do something like this and not really worry about like yellow losses or anything. Um, and also, it is a way to kind of force yourself to think differently about the game and identify different types of advantages. Um, so it could be beneficial in the long term to do something like this and kind of force yourself to think outside the box. Um, so generally, um, I try to build a single column. Um, my points gained with complete columns is a little over 7, so I average a little more than one column per game. Um, so this will be different for me to, not build a column. And I will say, like, if at the end of the game I have the choice between going minus 14 and building a column, I will still finish the column. I think what I'm trying to get at is I'm not going to like build a column from the start of the game. Um, but if it ends up being that I have to choose between finishing a column and losing the game, I will still choose to finish the column. Um, so let's play some arena. And oh, actually, I did want to look at this game from the current number one Azul player slash potential bot. Not going to make any hard accusations, but yeah, I don't know how to pronounce it. But this player at the time of this game was, 1018. They're currently, I think, at 1140 ELO. And look at this round one positioning from them. Um, they have just complete chaos from a column building standpoint. And of course, they would go on to win this game. So the reason I point this out is that, uh, you know, just because most players try to build columns doesn't mean it's the only way to play. And as you can see from the best Azul player slash bot out there, you can put yourself in a position like this that looks like a 100 ELO player built this and still win. Um, so let's see what we can do. Basically, what I'm anticipating is having to spend a little more time thinking about how to stick my opponent with more negatives and how to maintain a pretty clean board on my side. So, trying to like stay out of trouble. Okay, so normally in this draw, I would probably take like 3 red 5 or maybe 2 white 3. So how does my thinking change with not building a specific column? I don't really like 3 red 3. It's just not very central. It doesn't like score me points. So So maybe I'll start with row 2 yellow and set myself up for nice upper row adjacency. I should have gone for like full color red or something. My opponent takes this. Okay, I think let's still try to stick with the theme of like keeping things tight in upper rows. My opponent goes for row 4 black, which isn't surprising to take advantage of the reds that are around. Okay, let's take. Okay, let's just take the white. If my opponent takes, okay, so they for red. Oh, on 3 instead of on 5. I still need to do stuff in my lower rows, which is kind of the challenge here. What stuff do I want to do in my lower rows? I guess I'll still go for reds in 5, just because it's what my opponent would want. So this looks very much like a normal build. But basically I'll just avoid building row 4 black, at least for the time being. Okay, and this is very helpful that my opponent did this, because it gives me opportunities to disrupt them. So with so many blues out, that's going to be tough. Okay, let's obviously we want to try to finish row 5. So let's disrupt our opponent's row 4 by taking the single black. It's also good for adjacency on row 1. Okay. And then I think... So what's my best? I like getting row 3 blue. I should be able to pick up 2 white maybe. Then what do I do with the yellows? Is row 3 yellow just better? And he gets row 3 blue? Yeah, I'm gonna take blue. It's good point scoring. Okay. Okay, so now we can go red, red, blue. Yeah, we'll play these since we're not holding on to blacks anyway. So just a 2-point lead. Yeah, let's get one of these yellow groups and try to stop our opponent from getting this row 4 yellow that they want. I think I might just take two. Okay, let's get the whites out of the way. We have options for row 2 with white and red. And we keep all of those options. Okay. There's only 6 red left versus 9 white. Although, if I take 2 white, I have a shot at full color white. But then he takes a black and I have to take the 3 reds. Yeah, so I have to take the reds here. I still have a shot at full color white. It's not a great shot, but I do also have a little bit of a conundrum. Given the rules of the game here, there's 12 blacks left, but I'm supposed to avoid building a column. And I have all these blacks, black spaces to fill. Okay, so that's good for me. How do I want it? Okay, let's get the white out of the. I need to watch for reds from my opponent. There's only 1 left. So actually, if I can get them to commit some amount of reds down here, it's actually a good thing for me. So maybe we'll go for that. So what do I do in the meantime? I mean, I guess I could take 1 red for row 1. Or I can just take 2 red and yeah. Okay, let's take 2 red. Actually, let's put a yellow in the center so we can group them. We'll take 2 red because now with only 1 left, if they play on row 5, they're never going to get it. But I still have row 3 open. Okay, yeah, so that's toast. And now we can group these yellows up and force that. Or do I want to let him get yellow, yellow, so that I can maximize the whites here? Okay, I'm going to try to get all 3 whites. Ah, took a white. Okay. I think we just throw away the yellows. Because there's only 3 left. So now he needs 2 of the 3. Yeah, grab. We can give up on the dream of full color white, I think. And I guess we'll play these on 3 instead of 5. Per the rules, I will try my best not to complete row 5 black. Okay. take yellows here. I don't love him getting. Okay, and then we'll take 2 blue. Oh no, he just played here on row 3, so he can't get that anymore. Can I get 4 colors there? No, I cannot. I don't want the blacks to group. Blues grouping isn't ideal either, so we'll take 2. Take the separate blacks. I think this should be enough. Even with my opponent's column. Okay. I wouldn't say I played particularly sharply there. Honestly, probably got a bit lucky with the black tile distribution. Sorry if you can hear my dishwasher in the background. Taking a while to find games tonight. Okay. Okay. We're starting again. I think again I will head towards row 3 blue. So maybe there you can make an argument for row 4 blue. No, because it's weaker. Like if you're not trying to build the column, it's weaker to have. You can't really take advantage of the whites as much. I think yeah, still building centrally is probably best. Yeah, I think I'm okay with giving this because it's less of a priority for me. Maybe I grab row 4 blue. This disrupts. Okay. We'll definitely finish this and then we'll get a row 1 and a row 2. And we will both have our first 4 rows filled in a somewhat random order. I like this for me with how many yellows we should be expecting. Though, not very many came. Okay, so what do I want to do here? Row 5 white is basically off limits. I'm thinking about going row 4 white. Um, just like represents really nice scoring. Do I want to defend this? Let's not. Let's just score really well and I think grab these yellows for row 3. Our opponent could group the blacks up, but if they do, then they don't get a row 2. So yeah, most likely we just both grab row 2 black. Okay, so up by 4. Our opponent is basically, well, they're still wanting black tiles for whichever of these 2 columns they build. But I think, what's better here? Taking blues? Blue is not great for me from an adjacency perspective. It gives me nowhere to play yellows, and I can't take advantage of these reds. Yeah, I'm gonna play row 4 black. Problem with taking reds here, is that it prevents me from potentially taking whites. Maybe I just go 2 red for now. Okay. Now I think we'll go big. So this stops my opponent from getting a row 2, but they'd get good progress on this column. But in exchange for the white. Okay, so now I'm just going to take these. Do I play them? Probably. Okay, so up by 9 and have to maneuver around a lot of colors. My opponent will have full color red threat. They can have a full color red threat next round, but only if they get both of these. I could just take 1 red and deny that. It would be silly to let the yellows get grouped up though, so maybe we wait. They also, if they get a bunch of yellows, we'll get this column threat. And then there's this threat. So, okay, let's start with just 1 yellow, and now this column at least can't be completed. Okay, so there goes the red threat. So that's good. So now we have to maneuver. I want to put. Yeah, I want to take from the middle. Now. Again, I need to take from the middle and hope to be able to stick them with these reds at the end of the round. Okay, this is not going to work out for me. Okay, probably just best to take the blues, have a bunch of negatives, but good scoring. And we have the first player tile, and our opponent's only threat at this point is the row 5 blacks, so we can just dump these on row 3. And should be good to go. Yes. I won't get stuck with anything too bad here. Yeah, just take the white. Block that score. No, I don't think that was correct. Maybe it was. Okay. Do one more. Maybe more than one more. Okay, yeah, we're not getting the highest level opponents. That would make this a little more interesting. But we can only play who we get, so. Okay, let's try do yellow 2 again. Yeah, row 3 yellow. Okay. Yeah, I think we'll just block this. And they'll get. Okay, so we'll take the reds now. Let's play on 4. I'm thinking about potentially the yellow color bonus if there's a lot of yellows this round, which there aren't. Okay. Our opponent has set themselves up for a tricky situation. Okay, I'm just gonna fill out my reds to keep my board clean, and this is a valuable row 2 for them. I expect that they'll take the white. And then I plan to take the 2 blue. And so this leaves only the 1 blue for their row 3. But if they take it, then I can group the whites. And if they don't take it, then I can just throw it away. Okay. I don't want them to get these 2 whites since they have a shot at the color bonus, but they're currently blocked on row 3. So we'll play row 5 white. Hi Jess, you're on YouTube. Okay, so they start with blacks. We can immediately defend the... Okay, and now again, so they did this, and we'll try to force them to take here. They don't. Take this. Blue. Good point. Okay, so this is actually interesting. I'm not trying to really I'm not trying to score points with these whites, so I think it actually makes the most sense to just take the black and take the small lead on negatives. Okay, so up by 8. They are going to finish that column. So how do we win? It's going to be hard. Try to get 3 reds grouped up, but I don't want to do it yet because they'll just take 2 reds. Just take a black. Okay, so now we can take 2 reds. They can't play blues. Pick them with those. Need to take the whites, or the yellow, which would mean giving the white up, so let's not do that. Let's take a red. Yeah, okay, this is cool. I'm gonna have a hard time scoring next round because there's only 3 whites left and I need them on row 1 and 2, and my opponent wants the same thing. So we're gonna have to get by on our existing lead, but I don't know that it's gonna be enough. Okay, up by 11, but they have a column. Their row 3, they can't really score on row 3, which is nice. Yeah, we just gotta dump these. Okay. Yeah. Good. This group's means they have to pay more for their blue. They take a white. Makes sense. Yeah, I think we just take the blues. Okay, I mean, I think that one we won from opponent mistakes. Go again. Okay, so higher level opponent. It's gonna pain me to have to play. Okay, 474, so not like super high. Okay, so yeah, let's start yellow 4. We can contest that. What do I want to do here? We obviously want white and black. Anything I do is going to group the two. I can either give them whites or black, basically, because they'll get 2 black. I go white, they go black. Go white, they go black, I go white. Okay, let's let's take 2 black. Row 5. I don't feel particularly good about that, but I'm not sure what might be better. Maybe I should just be eating more tiles. Hopefully they play this. That would be a huge help to us. Okay, they are smart. Don't play it. Okay, so I was gonna say maybe this is a game to go for full color black, because it works nicely with our building currently. Gonna want to control blacks next round, so I think I'll grab this. I'm setting myself up to build the center column. Problematic. Let's create a group of 3 white. And see what they do with it. Okay. So now they can't play blues, so we can dump a bunch of blue negatives on them. And their row 2 is in danger. Okay, let's take 1 yellow. And now white. Okay. We take red. Sure, we can play on row 3, that's fine. Unfortunately, we are not in control of blacks next round. And our scoring's not great either, so even though they're going to take all these blue negatives, it's not like we're going to have a monumental lead. I didn't have great adjacency options there due to the black run out. So up by 5. Okay, this is fortunate. Not a big black run out. This group of 3 reds is not fortunate, but not something they're particularly looking to play either, so maybe we can just pick it up at the end of the round. Oh, they just lead off with it. Kind of wild. Okay, so I don't want to play blacks on 2. This is like my only place to play yellows. But I want as many blacks as possible. Okay, let's play black on 1, but we'll take 2 blacks, reduce their ability to get them. Okay, we'll block that. We're safe with these whites. That's like the biggest threat of things getting grouped, and we can play them on 4, so not a big deal. Okay. Yeah, let's grab the black here. I can't really take... I mean, I could take 1 yellow. Then they take 2 blacks. I take 2 blues. They have to throw out 3 white. At best. I think this works out almost as well. Because the way they would stick me with the whites is by taking... I mean, they could take a yellow, but then they have to play 3 whites on row 1. Yeah, so we'll see this play out. In fact, I could... Yeah, so I take the black. And let's go nuts and try to build full color black. Oh, throws away the blues. Doesn't go for row 1. I think that's fine. It's pretty interesting to see how my opponents are playing against this, because they really should be, like, taking the 3 red there is just a huge waste of a turn, and like this is hardly an objective for me. Okay, so Right away, I see my opponent can't play the whites, so that will be probably a target. Um, Full color black is obviously not going to happen anymore. My opponent can play 3 blue. Okay, let's group the yellow up and sure that we aren't getting the whites. Only up by 6. And my scoring is going to be subpar this round. Okay. This... Okay, so I'm in a position to finish a column, potentially the rightmost column. Hopefully, being up 19-1, I don't need to do that. See what we can not do. Okay, so they're trying to do this. We can shut that down right away with just taking 2 reds. So that seems good, just not have to worry about it. We want to try to get the whites to the middle. But now we can ensure we don't get stuck with the yellows. And we have threatened a column even though my opponent doesn't know that I'm not going to build it. Is this winning? So I take 2 white. My opponent takes 4 blue. If they play on 4 though, yeah, now they can't play yellows. We just take red and yellows. And hopefully our 18-point lead is enough. Yep. Man, it's really eye-opening what people will choose to defend. They can't get over them playing row 3 red to prevent me from finishing my row 3 red where I would have had to overpay 2 tiles anyway. And foregoing their own they could have completed this row 4 black way sooner. Okay, that's 50 minutes. That's 3 games of that. I think that's probably enough. Was definitely interesting. I'd say I didn't have to, I don't really feel like I shifted my game plan too much, to be honest. It was just a matter of navigating situations where just making sure I didn't end up with a bunch of negatives because of my clogged bottom rows. But I think my opponent, the skill level of my opponents made that a little less interesting than it could have been. So maybe next time arena isn't the way to go. Though I think if I were to try this with like purely expert games, I'd probably lose all of them. So, but maybe with expert games, doing something like, I can only build column 1, or I can only build column 5. That way I can at least still work towards a column objective. I think that's a little bit less limiting than, not being able to build a column at all. So, yeah, planning to do another one of these. Yeah, hope it was enjoyable anyway. You can see what the strategy was, just making my opponents overpay for things. But really, I think mostly they just put themselves in bad situations, and I was able to capitalize on them. So, nothing groundbreaking. But yeah, thanks for watching, and see you next time.